Hi, I'm J.T. Wilcox. I'm the House Republican leader down here in Olympia, and we've just finished up the fifth week of the 2021 session. It's about 30% over, and we're coming up to one of the important cutoff dates. On Monday next week, policy bills have to pass through their policy committees in their House of Origin. And that's the first big step that tells us what policies are going to be pursued by the majority and what policies they're maybe going to give up on this year. Our job as Republicans is to try to promote the policies that are good. And even in a year like this, there are some good policies that we've agreed with. And it's also our job to muster the arguments and muster the opposition that is necessary to defeat ideas that are going to be really bad for the people that we represent and the people of Washington. And we've got a few examples of those that I'm going to share with you. And as many of you know, I also share these quite often when they're coming up for hearing so that all of you can have your voices heard here in Olympia. First, the bills that I think are going to make our lives much more expensive and often incorporate ideas that are not very efficient. In other words, it costs you a lot and doesn't create much good anywhere. First is a carbon tax. State of Washington already is pretty good on carbon, and there is a strong desire to make things that contain carbon, especially things that contain petroleum, much more expensive. So there is a carbon tax that's very much alive at this point. There's also discussions in both the House and Senate about a new gas tax, and that would go as high as 18 cents per gallon. So very, very expensive for all of us, and I think open to discussion at this point. Next, income tax on capital gains. That's a hearing that's going on this week. And it has been proven to be unconstitutional many times in Washington. It has been voted down quite a few times, but this is an idea that is coming back to us every year, and I think is going to get a pretty major push from the majority this time. And then lastly, something that's gotten a lot of attention recently is a mandate that would prevent the use of natural gas in many residential buildings in the future. This removes an option that is economical and often very effective for people in many parts of their lives at home and seems totally excessive. It also ends thousands of jobs in Washington for a benefit that really doesn't make a difference. We don't need to raise costs or taxes on any family or business right now. There's not a budget emergency. We continue to see revenue growth, and we also see an immense fountain of dollars flowing from the feds right now. So anybody that tells you that we are experiencing a budget challenge in Olympia is just absolutely wrong. And we're going to prove that because Representative Drew Stokesbary is writing a budget. It'll be released next week that shows how House Republicans would spend the dollars that the taxpayers send to Olympia. And he's going to be able to support the programs that are necessary for all of us without any new taxes. And I'm looking forward to being able to share the details. I appreciate your time watching these videos, and I'll keep doing them as long as the session continues. It's critical that we have public involvement so that we can promote the things that are good for Washington and continue to push back hard on the things that will make our lives more expensive, less fulfilling, and less efficient. That's what we're here for. And you will never see a House Republican give up. Thank you.